Hello, folks. Welcome to the Wisconsin Family Podcast. This is episode number 27. Let's get our normal talk out of the way right away here as we're firing up the old computer. If you want to follow along, you can do that. Do that via Twitter at Wisconsin_fam. That's at Wisconsin_FAM. If you're already watching us live on TikTok, you already know how to get us here. Wisconsin_family. And you can follow on YouTube as well. If you've ever heard of YouTube, not sure if you have or not. No, but if you want to follow on YouTube, you can do that. YouTube.com/@WisconsinFamily, the number 1. So, rules of engagement for our live here tonight. First off, whatever you want to talk about goes. So let's get that out of the way right away here. You drive the conversation in these episodes and in these lives. So I am more than happy to cede some of my talking over to you in terms of what direction you want to take it. The only thing that I want you to do, that I ask of you if you're watching, is just check in. Let me know where you're watching from. You don't have to be from Wisconsin. It's no big deal if you're not. So check in. Let me know. If you're scrolling through TikTok right now and you got us on preview, just tap the screen, come in, say, hey, I'm watching from North Carolina. I'm watching from Wausau, Wisconsin. I'm watching from wherever. International would be fun. We don't get that. But they would be more than welcome. Let us know where you're watching from. And then if you want to kick back out and go on with your night, you can certainly do that. So again, if you're just joining in here, let me know where you're watching from. Andrew kicks us off. Clarkston, Michigan. Let's celebrate a title tonight. So jumping into some of our potential topics. Brewers, yes. Brewers' magic number is down to 1. That means any combination of Brewer wins, 1 Brewer win, or 1 Cubs loss will clinch the NL Central for the Brewers. So we've got that. We've got a newer, better, improved Packer injury report to get to. I'm pulling that up right now here so we can have exact details on that. Funny Me 059, welcome in. Thank you for checking in. Switzerland. Really? That is very cool. That is outside of Canada, which I don't really count. Switzerland would be the first international person to check in with us here. Why is Twitter telling me review your phone? Is this still my phone number? Yes, I think it is. Okay. All right, let's keep up on the comments here. Owatonna Siam. Do you have Taylor Swift's permission to live in Wisconsin? I don't need it. I got my permission to live in Wisconsin. Gary, do you like cheese? I love cheese, Gary. Had some beautifully, the store down the road sells some fantastic cheese. Aged cheddar. So if you like sharp cheddar, which I do, one of my favorites, my favorite cheese is Swiss cheese. But I love sharp cheddar. And the store down the road from me sells 3-year aged cheddar. I think there's a 5-year aged, a 10-year aged, and like a 15-year aged. The longer ages, the more crumbly it is, but the more potent as well. But hell yeah, I like cheese. Great VR. Hi from South Carolina. Hello. Thank you for checking in. Hubert David, welcome back to another live. He says, hey, I heard Aaron Jones and Watson are a go Thursday. So, today, Romeo Dobbs said that Aaron Jones is going to be playing Thursday. So that did not come from LaFleur, but it did come from Dobbs. He said that he was going to be 100% ready to go on Thursday. So that would be good news. We don't know for sure about Watson yet, but I'll get to the full injury report here in just a minute. But Watson was considered out yesterday, even though the Packers didn't practice. And they only went through a walkthrough today, so they didn't practice today. Shauna, thank you for the roses. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. The Packers just did a walkthrough today, so they did not practice. So it was all just another projection as far as, the injury status of each player today. But Christian Watson did go from a did not participate yesterday to a limited participant today, even though they didn't practice. The projection would have been that he would have practiced today. So I don't know exactly how you can do that when you're not practicing every day, but whatever. It means good news for Watson. It's definitely not bad news. And I will have that full injury update for you here in just 1 second. Oh, as I'm scrolling through this, folks, if you're a Packer fan, now I mentioned before right off the top, one quick drink of beer. Or maybe a bigger drink. Whatever. I mentioned off the top, you can follow along on Twitter. And now one of the many benefits for doing this, you would have seen my poll question that I put up today, and it's got quite a response. I'll get you updates on this in just a minute. My poll question was, who would you rather, let's just play a hypothetical game with me here if you're a Packer fan, okay? Who would you rather have the Packers trade for? Jonathan Taylor or Davante Adams? Now, I don't believe, I said it's a hypothetical game. I don't think they're going to trade for either. But it was a question I asked on Twitter. So if you don't follow along on Twitter, you missed it, and you should follow along. Anyways, I'll give you an update on that. As I'm scrolling through my information here, I saw this story, and before I get to the Packers and their latest injury status, Davante Adams says the Raiders aren't establishing winning culture with the way they're doing things. He says, quote, "We're not doing things the right way to establish a winning culture. We've got to go out there and do it. That's the theme of this year, doing it." Where's the rest of the quote? Doing it. Not just talking about it and figuring out what we need to do. We did all that last year. This year we got to be about it. So Davante Adams, not particularly happy. I mean, one of the big reasons he went to the Raiders was to play with Carr. That lasted one season. Didn't go so well. As these things many times do not do. Ask Aaron Rodgers what happened there. Let's keep up on the comments here. PBS followed us. Thank you, PBS. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. I'm sorry, folks. I'm back. Got a lot of comments here. Cole says, I'm about to go meet Antonio Freeman. All right, cool. Say hello to Antonio Freeman from Wisconsin family. He will have no idea who I am. I am friends with him on Facebook, but he wouldn't know who I was. So I'm just kidding. I don't have to do that. Tyler says, trade Bijan for Devontae Smith. I don't know. I'm not your fantasy guy. You don't want me to give all the fantasy advice in the world here, though I will say it from a Packers perspective, interesting that Robinson did not have a good game. This is not a good combination. Now, Aaron Jones looks like he's probably on track to play Thursday night, which is a good thing. The Packer running game without Jones has obviously struggled. In the meantime, the Lions, their run defense has been fantastic this year. So they, against the run-heavy and very talented Atlanta Falcons running game, Falcons ran it, 17 times for 45 yards against the Lions. That was it. So if you are without Aaron Jones and you're going in with A.J. Dillon and Patrick Taylor and Emmanuel Wilson, they probably aren't getting much. Have you been to Eric Foreman's house in Wisconsin? No. I apologize. I don't know what that is. Shauna, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you for the gifts before as well. See, I'm getting the fantasy questions here. Who should I drop, Stafford or Mayfield? You don't want to ask me on that. I don't know. I'm just being honest with you here. See? Ridley for Jacobs. What about me screams fantasy football guru? I lose a lot of money on fantasy football. The betting aspect, maybe not so much. But fantasy, nah. Not my jam. I buy honey. Anyways, local boogeyman, 49ers. All right. You've said it all. Let's see what else we got here. Robert C. says, is Christian Watson going to play? We don't know, but he went from left. Thank you for getting me back on track. I get so distracted here. Let me get back to that injury report. Here we go. Let's just read it off for you here really quick. So there's a couple of guys. Yesterday, even though the Packers didn't practice, Matt LaFleur essentially said that everyone on the injured list would have been out had they practiced yesterday, except Aaron Jones and Rashawn Gary would have been practicing on a limited basis. So here's today. Other guys did return to the practice field, even though they didn't practice. Jair Alexander, limited participant. Let's see. Rashawn Gary, limited again. Aaron Jones, limited. But these guys upgraded from out to limited. Zach Tom, limited participant. Carrington Valentine, limited participant. Christian Watson, limited participant. So that's good. The guys who are still out today did not participate. Zane Anderson, David Bakhtiari, Devondre Campbell, and Elton Jenkins. So no surprises there. So I don't know. I don't know if Watson's going to play or not, but I mean, it's not going in the wrong direction. At least he was upgraded from out to limited participant here today. So that's good. Uper David says, I think Gary should be a go unless it's extremely serious. No, Gary's on the injury list because of his knee injury. It's the same thing. So he's fine. He's ready to go. He's just going to be on a pitch count like he has been. So the fact that the only reason that, I mean, Gary's still coming back from that injury, the only reason that he's not listed, or the only reason that he's on the injury list is because he's being limited in practice because of that knee. So you don't have to worry about Gary. Just scrolling through the comments here, folks. Getting right back to it here. Beetlejuice says Taylor Swift is going to jumpstart Travis Kelce's career. Yeah, he needs a jumpstart, huh? Now, maybe one of the Packer rookie tight ends could use a jumpstart. Tucker Kraft. Or, what's his name? Musgrave? Luke Musgrave, yeah. Luminous says, any sport or just football? Any sport. Particularly football and baseball. Jeremiah, thank you for the follow. I just skipped through a whole bunch of comments, folks. I apologize about that. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone here. Just going back, I want to make sure. Is that a drop ceiling behind me? So Wisconsin. I don't know. Is that what a drop ceiling? Is that what it is? I don't know. It's my basement. I don't know the terms, but people always comment on our house, and we have it's not an old house, but yes, if a drop ceiling is a Wisconsin thing, that's probably what it is. Okay, L _Q. Give me a NFL hot take. NFL hot take. You have to give me a second on that one. I didn't have time to prepare. I apologize. I need to keep going through the comments here. I will keep that. LQ, stay tuned for a minute. I will keep that in the back of my mind as I ramble on about other things, and I will use my multitasking ability to not only talk to you and to everyone else that comes in and answer questions and give my thoughts, give my opinions from anything in the world, the Green Bay Packers, Milwaukee Brewers, anything you want. I will also think of an NFL hot take at the exact same time while sipping one of my favorite beers. So, thank you for giving me something to think about as we go on here. NFL hot take. I'll get back to it. Let's see. Thomas says, I'm a lifelong Cubs fan from Wisconsin Dells, and it hurts watching the Brewers win the division. Yeah, I imagine it would. So, what are you doing being a Cubs fan, being from Wisconsin Dells? Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm not criticizing it. Just wondering how one falls into that predicament. Could be easy, could be family. but I'm just curious. Jeremiah, thank you for the follow. Maybe I think I thanked you for that just a second ago. Jair Media, what's up? Not much. Sitting here having a cold beverage, talking football with all my favorite people on TikTok. Mark says, we're in Michigan. We have a drop ceiling. Big M Biz says, fly the W. Fly the W for the Brewers. That's right. Mark says, what is the subject? What's not the subject, Mark? Whatever you want to be the subject as the subject, just let me know. Let me know. Mostly we talk sports. But I will tell you, folks, just between you and I, who are here right now, we may be expanding on some things here. We've got this Wisconsin Family Network across TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. We may be expanding to a couple of other platforms, but the entire Wisconsin Family thing may be expanding soon into something outside of sports as well. So, just so you know. Wade says, Josh Donaldson was a great pickup. I didn't like it at the time. I also, hey, I'm happy to be wrong. But I thought, well, what the hell? I mean, you're essentially adding another guy that is like what the Brewers' offense has been all year. But then, it's worked out. And I didn't like the Canna trade at first. I didn't like the Carlos Santana trade that much either right away. But happy to be wrong. And I think, if you look back at Donaldson or Canna or Santana throughout the year, I mean, none of them were setting the world on fire, but they've done better since they came to the Brewers. Now, maybe just the change of scenery, maybe jumping into the momentum of a playoff push can help you get over the top. El Camote says Gatorade. Igor, what beer is that? It's Ham's beer. Somebody else answered that. Robert C. simply says hockey. Hockey. I'm a Chicago Blackhawks fan. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say that out loud. That I'm a fan of a team in Chicago. I don't like any other Chicago team. Don't like the Bulls. Sure as hell don't like the Bears or the Cubs. As a Twins fan, growing up, I do not like the White Sox either. But what am I going to do on hockey? We are Milwaukee Admiral fans. We go to some games. But not, that's not your top tier NHL. Minor leagues. James, the Realtor, says, Ham's beer. Yes, you got it, James. Very observant. Very observant. You answered the question, but I answered it first, or actually you answered it first. I'm just getting down the timeline here. The GOAT really wants to know, should I trade Mark Andrews and Ford or Connors for Bijan? I really don't know. I don't want to give you bad advice. User 401-777-0782. Boy, you got a hell of a name. 827-566. Have you tried Limburger cheese? I want to visit a place in Monroe that serves Limburger cheese sand. I have not had Limburger cheese. Wade says, can a trade look bad, but has been pleasantly surprising? Yes, I will give it that. Jair Media, what do you think the Packers should do with David Bakhtiari injury that he is still dealing with? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I would say that if things continue as they are, you get out of that contract first chance you get when it will help you with the salary cap. I mean, if letting him go is going to hurt you against the cap, then you might as well hang on to it. But the first chance that you get where it's gonna be more beneficial to you and save you, a decent amount of money, you move on from it. Well, yeah, no, I'm not blaming Bakhtiari personally, but the mere fact that he had an injury that we're coming up on, it's going to be 3 years ago, and he's still missing games because of it. I mean, he's good when he's in there, no doubt. Don't misunderstand. He's very good when he's in there. But, you got to start planning for the future here if you're the Packers, and the future should come sooner rather than later, because it's just not a reliable situation to be in right now with Bakhtiari. Now, I said it yesterday and I've said it before, but I will say it again right now. If Bakhtiari, 3 years out from his injury, we're still missing practices because of it, no, okay, fine. That's not a big deal, because he's showing that he does not have to practice to be effective in games. But when you're missing games because of it, you just can't have that. I mean, it's too much. It's too much right now. There comes a certain line where your lack of availability overcomes your worth in how well you play when you actually do play. And if you end up missing more games than you play, you need to find another left tackle, and you need to find another good left tackle as well. Can't just, well, I'll just move on from Bakhtiari for anyone. No, you need a plan in place. You need something there that you can rely on and go to that's going to be there for you weekly and be good. Kyle says, from Milwaukee, live in Nashville now. Go Pack Go. Kyle, thank you for checking in. Again, I'm going to give you a refresher on the quick speech here. If you're in here, just check in. Let me know where you're watching from. You get a shout out. That's it. Or if you just want to say hi, I will give you a shout out. If you're scrolling through TikTok right now, looking at all sorts of videos, and this live popped up and you're just watching the preview, use your thumb or your finger. Bang. Tap on the screen for 1 second and say, hi, I'm watching from wherever. And I will say hello. I'll shout you out, and you can go back on with your night. So how fun is that? You not only get to watch TikToks and keep scrolling, but you get a shout out in the meantime as well. Tricky Nick says, let's go Lions. We're coming Thursday for another W. Yeah, the Packers definitely had trouble with Lions the last handful of times we played them. The Lions play a much more physical brand of football than what the Packers do. But that short week on the road for the Lions make it a little bit harder, especially if the Packers get some guys back from injury. And the Lions injury list is full of quite a few guys here as well as I'm looking at it. But yeah, Lions are tough. The Packers do not handle physical teams all that well. So for the Packers to not handle the Lions is not a particular surprise, because they really have come out the last couple of years and since Dan Campbell has been there, and they've kind of pushed the Packers around. Freddie, the Fro, who's winning the NFC North? You know, I don't want to say it, and Thursday night's game could, go quite a ways in determining that, to be honest with you. I mean, you're talking about a 17-game season, the interdivisional games, especially for the two first-place teams playing each other. I don't care if it's in Week 4 or in Week 17. It's a big game, and it could have big ramifications. My money would still be on the Lions just because of the youth and inexperience of the Packers, and there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs with the Packers. I think that overall, the Lions are the best team in the NFC North. The Bears are done, so cross them off. The Vikings start out 0-3. That's a death sentence in the NFL. Only 4 teams have made the playoffs since 1990 who have started out 0-3. So Vikings, you can cross them off probably, which I didn't think they were going to win anyway. But Packers and the Lions are obviously our top 2 contenders at this point. And the Packers, with their young roster, are going to have to show consistency throughout the season. So right now, if you had to ask me if I had to say it, I would say Lions are winning the division. But I hope that changes. And again, just like I said with some of the Brewer trades, I hope I'm wrong. Ben says, how are we feeling? See, another fantasy question. I can't answer that for you. I apologize. You don't want my fantasy advice. Jair Media says, yeah, because the Packers' only option, talking about David Bakhtiari, is to trade or cut, but not too many teams would probably want him. Yeah, I mean, not for big money. Kyle Armstrong 50, thank you for following. I appreciate it. The Philly Italian Realtor. How do you think Jordan Love will play on a short week? Unless his first challenge on playing on a short week, I don't think it's going to affect him much. I mean, yeah, I think the short week stuff is a lot harder on your linemen and your linebackers, your running backs, the guys who are taking the brunt of the physicality and the hits. I don't think it's going to affect quarterbacks all that much. So I think Love will be Love. Dominique, thank you for the follow. Tricky Nick says, "Go Lions from Denver." Thank you, Nick, for checking in with us here. Home Brew City, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Thank you for the check-in. I appreciate it. Robert says, "Ayo, hello." Tua or Kirk? I don't know if that's a fantasy question, but if you're just asking me straight up, Juju, Tua or Kirk, I would take Tua all day long. Home Brew City, Aaron Jones will be there Thursday too. Sounds like it. Sounds pretty positive. At least according to the latest breaking news brought to you by Romeo Dobbs, said that he's going to 100% be there or something to that effect. Dominique says, "Go Bills from Nashville." All right. Bills fan. I got no problem with the Bills. We could maybe beat them if Watson and Jair and if Gary and Jones play. Well, Gary's going to play. Sounds like Jones is going to play. Jair went, good news for him, he went from did not participate yesterday to being limited today. Homebrew City says, "That's a very honest take on my Packers not winning the division." They said, "I don't like it. Go Pack, go." Yeah, you don't have to like it. I don't like it. I don't like my own take on it. But I got to be honest with everyone here when I'm asked the question. Tricky Nick says, "As a Packer fan, what are your thoughts? Favre and Rodgers got traded to the Jets." I was relieved when Aaron Rodgers was traded to the Jets. I was more distraught over the entire Favre saga when that all went down. I was pissed when I thought Favre finagled his way over to the Vikings after the Jets. And I was kind of neutral on that. I was rooting for Favre in New York and have a problem with him. But when he finagled his way to what I thought finagled his way by unretiring, or by retiring again and then unretiring suddenly to go back to the Vikings, which is where he wanted to go the entire time in my mind. That pissed me off, but I've since gotten over it. Mark says, "Hey from San Diego, go Chargers." Thank you for the check-in, Mark. I really appreciate it. Excuse me. Big Mike Diesel says, "How do you think the Brewers will fare against the Dodgers in the NLDS?" Well, if they're playing the Dodgers in the NLDS, the Brewers have the pitching to stack up with anyone, but I don't like the history of the last couple of years when the Brewers run into a team that's got pitching and offense. So I wouldn't be the most encouraged about it, but if they could put together some semblance of offense, just a little bit, that pitching could carry them. But they have to score something. And that's been the problem in the playoffs the last few years, and it was a problem through 90% of this season as well. Kevin Royce says Lions will win. I have not made my pick yet, but we'll do that on Wednesday night, maybe Thursday morning. Kevin Royce, 321. Following the live creator, which is us here, Wisconsin family. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it, Kevin. Teddy Boy says, "I have a picture of you that I would love autographed." Oh, yeah, absolutely. Send her my way. I'll do 2 autographs on it for you if you want. I don't even charge anything. Isaiah says, "You should listen to the Hat Trick Sports podcast." All right, you know what? I'll note it. Hat Trick Sports. Let me make a note on my computer here. Hat Trick Sports Podcast. Got it. People send me suggestions all the time here on lives, and I do write them down. I do check them out. I do. I really do. So whether it be for businesses or for products or Tell me to listen to a podcast. I wrote it down. I'll check it out. I will. Dylan, are you a fantasy guy? See, I keep getting all these fantasy questions. Thank you for asking that, Dylan. I do play fantasy. I have not played, so I used to be in leagues with like family, friends, coworkers, all that kind of stuff. I've not done that in probably about 6 years. I play some more daily fantasy stuff like on DraftKings and things like that. But the bigger leagues, I have not done for a while. Basketball, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 joining in. Thank you for joining. Again, let me do a quick refresher here. We're going to go here for about 10 more minutes or so. Quick refresher. If you're in with us right now, check in. Let me know, where are you watching from? It doesn't have to be in the state of Wisconsin. Also, if you're scrolling through TikTok and you're just watching on the preview right now, just click on your screen. Or I shouldn't say click. I'm in my mid-30s. Click means computer. People don't even use computers anymore, right? For the most part. So you tap on your screen. I say click. Tap on your screen. I have to be right for the kids. Tap on your screen. And just let me know where you're watching from. Check in real quick. And then hit the back button. Go back and watch that next video that was going to come up, because it's still going to be there anyway. Somebody asked, Gary S. says, thoughts on Steelers. I think I don't know about the Canada offensive coordinator situation, but I think that Mike Tomlin is a good coach. I think he's solid. I think that the Steelers, as such, are always going to be a pretty solid team, going to be reliable. Good win on the road against the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders aren't the best, but you get a road win on two teams who are pretty equal or pretty evenly matched coming in. You look at some of the stats for the Steelers and the Raiders before that game, and it was pretty equal. And I said on my 6-pack of picks that I would take the Steelers because I'm taking Tomlin over Josh McDaniels. I don't know how that guy's got a head coaching job. Stanley says, Pittsburgh. Stanley, thank you for checking in. Appreciate it. See? If you're scrolling through TikTok right now, tap on the screen. That's all you have to do. You get a shout out. If you just come say hi or check in with where you are even previewing it from. And then go on with your night if you don't like what you're hearing. Packers plus Bucks. Hi. We're about to see our likes go through the roof here. Richard says, Brewers going to wrap it up tonight from Burlington, Wisconsin. Yep, I think the Brewers are going to wrap it up tonight. Now, I looked at tickets for the game this evening, and surprisingly, they were awfully cheap. Now, maybe that's because the Brewers already clinched a playoff spot, so it's not quite as big. They didn't have to clinch the division to make the playoffs, but it would be a fun night to be at American Family Field. Universe says Madison, Wisconsin here. Thank you for the check-in. Matt says, go Brewers. You got it, Matt. Go Brewers, go Packers, go Badgers, go all of Wisconsin. Packers plus Bucks giving us our likes. Thank you for the likes, by the way, guys and gals. 1.4 thousand likes. Appreciate any likes, shares, follows. Universe followed the live creator. Thank you for the follow, Universe. Appreciate that. Alex says, Rams fan, and I live 5 minutes from Lambeau. Well, that's all right. Welcome in, Alex. Don't have to be a Packer fan to watch us here. We can talk about other teams as well. Not well versed as much as am with the Packers, but yeah. Hard to be, I guess, a fan of the Rams and the Packers. They're both in the NFC. But it's a good life to live 5 minutes away from Lambeau Field. I wish I lived 5 minutes away from Lambeau Field. I would tailgate in my backyard. I guess it's not tailgating. I would cook out in the backyard and then head on over to Lambeau instead of driving an hour and a half. But I consider myself very blessed and happy to live an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half from Lambeau Field. So 5 minutes, that would be pretty cool. Plus, I could charge people to park in my lawn. Nothing wrong with that. Make some money. I always remember, and I feel like I've seen less and less people do this, but people that live really close to Lambeau Field, I always remember seeing, because generally we park on the streets and we walk to Lambeau, but it always amazed me, and like I said, I feel like the numbers for this have gone down a little bit, but the amount of people. All right, now our connection's back. Thank you for not leaving us here, those of you who did not. We got user 6653.
Sure I understand.
Oh, Siri's talking to me. I wasn't talking to you. Gee, I love it when that happens. Google does that to me all the time. I don't say anything, hey Google, nothing like that. All of a sudden she's talking to me. User 6653 and so on and so forth says, I grew up a couple of blocks from Camp Randall and the old field house. Go Badgers. Yeah, that's cool too. Good place to grow up, I would assume. Never lived in Madison myself, but enjoy visiting there. Badger games, that's a totally different atmosphere than the Packers. Some prefer one as opposed to the other. Could be dependent on your age as well. Berkman checking in. Thank you for the check-in. Says, go Pack from Alabama. You got it. Thank you. As we got some people joining here as I'm watching the live feed. Let me know where you're watching from. Just check in and say, hey, I'm watching from Alabama. I'm watching from South Carolina. Watching from Switzerland we had earlier. Or if you're just from good old Wisconsin, let me know. Same deal. If you're scrolling through TikTok right now, about to go to your next video, but you're watching me on a preview, tap your screen. Takes 2 seconds. Say, hey, I'm watching from Wisconsin. Back on out. Go on with your night. Brewers magic number at 1. Packer injury update is looking on the more positive side, which is good. I don't know if you guys saw, there's an NFL Films video released, which happens throughout the season of various games and things in the locker room and on the field as well. But there was a NFL Films, a quick clip, about a minute long, that was updated from the Packer locker room after their comeback win over the Saints on Sunday. And Rashawn Gary had gotten one of the game balls. A huge game for him, 3 sacks. And he got a game ball, and he got very emotional, talking and thanking all the guys that talk about how he just wanted to be back out on the field with them. I would search that out if I were you. That was a good video to see from NFL Films. Gavin says, hi from Fargo, North Dakota. All right, Gavin, thank you for the check-in. See how easy it is, and you get a shout-out. Berkman, do you know if Watson out or LP? LP. You have to give me a second to think of LP. I don't know what that means. Do you know if Watson's out? No, we don't know if Watson's out. I assume that's going to be a true game-time decision. Just like it kind of seems to be. Oh, limited participant. Yeah. So Watson today, yeah, he was a limited participant. I assume you're asking about practice today. Yeah. Hello, Hunter. Not much up. Just sitting here, shooting the breeze. We're going for 4 more minutes here at 5:15 Central Time. We're going to turn it off. Thank you so much thank you all so much for beating the Saints. More than happy to oblige on that. Happy to beat the Saints. I didn't think it was possible. Of course, I would never turn a game off. It wouldn't matter. Packers could be down by 50, and I wouldn't turn it off. But yeah, Berkman, what a game! That was quite the game. That was I got to tell you, that was one of, I thought, the best wins, regular season wins that I have ever seen the Green Bay Packers have. Maybe the best win that I've ever seen the Packers have. And not in the sense that, wow, they just played so great from start to finish, because frankly, through the first 3 quarters, they sucked. It was absolutely atrocious. But that's partly what made it a great game, because all their work they did in the 4th quarter. And then they end up coming back from 17 down with all the injuries, and you win that game. Now, I know Carr was out, but don't tell me about Derek Carr. Don't tell me about him being injured. I don't want to hear it. Take a look at the names that were out for the Packers in that game. C. Pizzy. I think I'm getting that right. From one Wisconsinite to another, cheers. I was at the Packer game last Sunday, so loud, so electric. Yeah. Lots of boos early on, before halftime. But, yeah. I'm sure. 4th quarter was pretty nuts. And then the missed field goal to cap it all off. And yes, C. Pizzy. Cheers. Yeah, you got it, Bergman. I just mentioned the missed field goal at the end. Every fan was blowing at the TV for that to miss. Yes. Some people left after the failed 4th down to start the 4th quarter. Yeah, they're lost, but there's not many Packer fans who leave early from games. Maybe some, but not many. I really don't, even if it's not Packers, I mean, you'd be talking about a Brewer game, Bucks game, I really don't leave early. Just in case. Come on, let's bring the connection back. All right, now we're getting back here. Good connection. All right, sorry folks, we lost connection again. I don't know what's going on with the internet. I want to answer this from Gavin. If you could go to any stadium, what would you go to? Now, I'm going to say in all pro sports, I would like to go to Fenway Park. That is number 1 on my list of where I'd like to go, just because of the history and how old it is. I would have said Yankee Stadium as well, the old original Yankee Stadium, but that's not happening, obviously, considering it's been gone for many years. But in all the sports, I would like to go to Fenway Park. Now, if you're limiting it because we're talking NFL, if you're just asking what NFL stadium would I like to go to, first one that I think of would be Kansas City. Yeah, I don't really care so much about the newer modern stadiums like what they have in Los Angeles and stuff like that. I don't really care. But I would probably say I would like to go to Kansas City for an NFL game. And maybe just for the atmosphere of it, maybe to a Bills game. Packers_prods. Go Pack Go. Yep, you got it. Thank you. Again, anyone's joining in here, we're going to go for one more minute yet. One more minute. So any other quick questions, comments, concerns, throw them in there. We can go rapid fire here over the last minute. 1 minute to go. Packers plus Bucks doing his thing, liking the lives again, guys. Appreciate the likes and follows and the shares here. Please feel free to share it. One thing, speaking of sharing, I was going to share it on Twitter tonight, try to get some extra viewers in here, but forgot to do that. Packers prods, thank you for the likes here as well. Appreciate that, up to 2.2 thousand likes. So thank you everyone for that. C. Pizzy says Cubs or Marlins for a wild card matchup. You're asking who I would like to play if I were the Brewers. I assume I'd rather play the Marlins all day long. Don't need all those Cub fans coming up to Milwaukee and infiltrating into American Family Field. All right, our minute is up. I'm gonna head off of here tonight for the evening and go spend time with the family here. Got to make supper as well. But I appreciate everyone who joined, everyone who commented, liked, shared, followed, checked in. Thank you guys. Appreciate it as always. Take care. Have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Lord willing. All right, folks. Have a good night.